Gatwick Airport could be given approval to expand its capacity by 100,000 flights a year. There's a hint from the Transport Secretary, Heidi Alexander, that she's going to approve plans to bring the second runway into routine use. Finlay Asher can join us now. He's part of a group called Safe Landing. Not so sure about the wisdom of encouraging more aircraft travel. Finlay Asher, good morning.
Morning. Thanks for having me on.
Gatwick Airport say, of course, that they could turn this runway, which exists anyway, enhance it and make it a full-blown second runway and accommodate more people without spending a vast amount of money. Sensible idea?
Well, I think we need to look carefully at this and look at what's best for the industry and what's best for society in general. So I'm an aerospace engineer. I'm part of a community of aviation workers. We've got pilots, cabin crew, air traffic controllers, airline and airport workers as well. So we're part of the industry. We love flying. We want to ensure it can be enjoyed by all for generations to come. And so, it's really important to us that our industry is on a sustainable flight path. What does that actually mean, though? Well, it means that flying must benefit society, the economy, and the environment rather than harm it. So that's why we've been looking really carefully at these plans for Gatwick. And, we'd be happy to support airport expansion plans that can, 1, supercharge innovation, 2, provide social and economic benefits, and 3, be delivered within environmental limits. Now, we just don't think that the current expansion plans will deliver on those. Rather than outdated airport expansion for conventional aircraft, we'd like to see an alternative forward-facing strategy. And if a new runway is opened, we think it should be for zero-carbon aircraft only.
OK, and they don't exist yet, or don't exist at any scale?
Well, they're being developed, but they're struggling to find a route to market because no airport around the country or even around the world at the moment is catering for them. And it's a bit of a chicken and egg situation that we find ourselves in, which is why we'd really like Gatwick to be part of the solution here and other airports around the UK. And say, well, if we are going to expand, it's going to be for this particular type of aircraft. And that will then give British economy, and particularly the aerospace sector, a really good opportunity to lead and pioneer the future of flight here. Obviously, we've got a really strong heritage in the UK. We developed, the last revolution in air travel, the jet age. So we can now pioneer the next revolution, and that will be zero carbon aircraft, like hybrid electric or hydrogen aircraft.
Yeah, I think I've done segments about the hydrogen prospects. I mean, people maybe like yourself who are well versed in these things talk these things up as a real possibility. Other people are sceptical, and it's not a fair. Well, it is a sort of fair linkage of the story. Here we're talking on the very day that BP, and I haven't told my listeners this, but they've confirmed that at this lunchtime, talking to shareholders, they are all but giving up on the green revolution, and they're going to focus back on oil and gas, and all the aspirations to turn the company green and to chase renewables. They're putting on the back burner for the time being. That's an extraordinary development, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think the really important thing here is, you've also had the Climate Change Committee, another news story today, talking about the costs associated with decarbonising the economy and what this is going to mean for people. And this is really true in the aviation industry. If Gatwick does open another runway, and we need to transition to alternative fuels, those are all sort of 2, 3, 4, 5 times the cost of current jet fuel. And if you aren't going to price people out of flying, if we are still going to be able to fly in the future and people are going to afford it, who's going to pay for it? And we think there's a really strong case to tax energy companies more that have been making massive windfall profits in order to finance that transition that currently nobody's paying for.
OK. Oh, so you would be relaxed, would you, about the BPs and Shells of this world focusing on oil and gas, as long as they pay, a healthy slice of tax in order to fund the revolution that's coming?
It's not. Well, I suppose if you make it more expensive to extract fossil fuel and use those revenues to decarbonise the rest of the economy, then you're also going to be driving down fossil fuel use as well. So at the moment, the problem is just...
It is about the journey of trying to get from one to the other. I think a lot of people can see the merits of the green economy and using renewables. It's just how the heck we get there, isn't it? That's the challenge.
We know the technology, renewables, wind, solar, insulating homes, heat pumps, electric cars, all of these things, we know exactly what to do, but it's about how to finance it. And that's why you can see that fossil fuel companies at the moment are kind of getting away with it. They've made hundreds of billions of excess profits over the past few years, and we failed to tax them, and they're just like doubling down on stranded assets, polluting fossil fuels. And we know there's no future in that. We know that actually it's in their best interest that we transition away from that in the long run, and that needs government policy.
But not in an era of Trump and his, drill baby drill. That's just not practical politics, is it, Finlay?
Only if you take a very short-term sight on this. If you want profits this year, then yes. But if you think about over the next 10, 15 years, we're really going to cripple our economy if we double down on these assets. We lock ourselves in to outdated cars, aircraft, buildings, types of energy production and industry, and we're going to see big economic losses in the long run. So this is why the role of government is really important to move away from
Sorry to jump in, just to conclude, just to loop back on your idea of making Gatwick second runway an exemplar. The cost of making that, say, a hub for hydrogen-powered aircraft and putting the infrastructure in, that would have to come from government. You wouldn't get private investing money doing that, would you?
No, well, the point is, lots of airports want to expand because they can see a demand for aircraft. So if you said, yeah, you can do that as long as you can fly within a carbon budget, and if you have to use these alternative types of aircraft, that will create a market for those aircraft, and it will mean that airports are incentivized then to go and provide for those aircraft if they want more flights from it. So you're basically creating a commercial incentive here for airports, and then in turn for manufacturers. And that's how you stimulate the economy and how you move to the economy of the future and the jobs of the future as well.
Finlay Asher, thank you for spending a few minutes with us. He's part of an organisation called Safe Landing.